Page 6. Please join with us. Page 6. Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Ashivenu, Ashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Hadesh, Hadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Another year has passed, another 4 seasons. We arrive at another High Holy Days, another Rosh Hashanah. We come to temple, we take a seat, look to our left and right, front and behind us. We wonder, what's the meaning of this moment? What's the meaning of the year past and of the year ahead? Have I spent my time wisely? Have I achieved what I set out to achieve? Did I exercise, read, learn, love, travel, or stay still the way I planned to? Did I lose the weight, gain the weight, meditate, cultivate, or gravitate to the people who bring out the best in me? I want to share a little story that my amazing mother-in-law, Grandma, just shared a couple hours ago. In 1946, Judy, we call her Grandma, Judith, many people know her by, but Judy and Sophie and Margot were best friends. They were all 6 years old. Over the years, they, lost touch. About 35 years ago or so, they saw each other. They had some contact, not a lot. And recently, Judy, Grandma, received an invite to a reunion. And Margot and Sophie they attended the reunion. Judy wasn't. And Margot and Sophie decided to write Judy a postcard. And this is what the postcard said. How the H are you? Where the H are you? And why the H aren't you here at the reunion? How the heck are you? Where the heck are you? And why the heck aren't you here at the reunion? And I think at moments like this, we ask these questions of loved ones who have moved away to New York City or to Florida, to so many different places. Even those who have moved on from this life. Why the heck aren't you here? I think that's central to this moment of Rosh Hashanah. It's certainly central to our settling into the holiday, to the beginning of the holiday. And I think it's about checking in, to reconnect, to spread our arms wide, and to hug those we haven't seen in a long time. And I think that's as well the meaning of the lights that we light to begin every Shabbat and this Yontiv, this Yom Tov of Rosh Hashanah. And so with that, we will
call up the Luberts, great kindlers of light, Sandy and Stu, and offer a thank you for these gorgeous flowers that you orchestrated, Sandy, on the way up.
Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, giving us life, upholding the life within us, and bringing us to this time. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on this festival.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner להדליק נר של יום טוב. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
We rise and turn to page 15. At the new moon, at the full moon, for our feast day, sound the shofar, for that is the law of Israel, the way of the house of Jacob.
תיקחו בחודש שופר בכסה ליום חגנו.
Page 17, we remain standing if we are able.
Here I am, so poor in deeds, I tremble in fear, overwhelmed and apprehensive before you to whom Israel sings praise. Although unworthy, I rise to pray and seek favor for your people Israel, for they have entrusted me with this task.
Therefore, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, Adonai, Adonai, merciful, gracious God who inspires awe, I pray to you for success on my path. I pray for myself and my community. Do not hold them responsible for my wrongs and offenses. May my deeds cause them no shame, and may their deeds cause me no shame.
Accept my prayer as though it were offered by one more worthy of this task, a scholar proficient in prayer, unblemished in character, pleasing in voice.
Let love be our banner. Let it banish our wrongs. May Israel's strife and misfortunes be turned into joy, renewed life, and peace. Love, peace, and truth, may they prevail among us, and may there be no impediment to my prayer. Altogether, Adonai, God of
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob,
God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, great, mighty, awe-inspiring, God Most High, who said to Moses, I will be what I will be. May it be your will that my prayer reach your presence, for the sake of the righteous and blameless, the honest and pure of heart,
for the sake of your glory.
You hear your people's prayer with compassion.
Blessed are you, the one who hears prayer.
Page 19.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu yehi ratzon shenizke birchotecha bishnat chameshet alafim. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5,780. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life.
We continue on page 20.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to our prayer? Can you hear our voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Barach leolam vaed.
In the middle of page 23. The quickening of the moon calls us to return, and we gather, seam dwellers on the edge of the earth. As the sun lowers itself into the sea, introspection rises. A sliver cracks the heart of the firmament, the vast blackness and invitation to write ourselves anew.
Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Page 24 together. Love beyond all space and time, your love enfolds your people, Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love, for you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vahed.
Please be seated as we continue together on page 28 with Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בעם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Emet.
We turn to page 33 and continue responsively. To break the bonds of anger, to be generous of heart. To break the bonds of envy, to serve one another in joy.
Break the bonds of boredom, to be attentive to all God's gifts.
To break the bonds of fear, to live with courage and strength.
To untie the knots of betrayal, to love with fullness of being.
To break the bonds of loneliness, to receive a hand of hope.
To break the bonds of self-centeredness, to extend a hand of help.
Released from the darkness, our people found their freedom at the sea. And we
pray for liberation
at the dawning of this year. We'll continue in the middle of page 34, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקעם לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה, אדוני, גל ישראל.
Page 37. Darkness settles slowly across the horizon. The new year rises before us, its fragile moon awaiting our embrace. Together, heaven and earth entwine in their annual dance of recreation. A fissure appears in the firmament tonight, an entranceway into new beginnings. Out beyond the swales, the sea expands and contracts, keeping time to the thrumming of the universe. Under this Rosh Hashanah sky, the path before us is uncertain. All we can do is hold each other tight as we make our way home. Hashkivenu is on page 36.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha v'takneinu beitza tova milfanecha v'hoshienu leman shemecha.
In a moment, we'll rise. We'll turn to page 42 and rise for the Amidah. I just want to prepare you. You know, there are a number of small passages that tell us, this is only here for the high holidays. There's a little sentence, 10 words or so in the Amidah, the Avot, Zochrenu lechaim, melech chafetz b'chaim, v'chatvenu b'sefer ha'chaim, l'ma'ancha Elohim chaim. The word 4 times, once every 3 words, chaim. Whatever ideas we have about the Torah's view of God. Sometimes we read Torah and we think, oh, the God is amazing and full of forgiveness and life, and sometimes we might feel like, what is a God? It seems punishing. Whatever the Torah's view of God is, it's clear that what the prayer book's view of God is. The prayer book is telling us that God is so hoping, wanting, praying, pleading us to make the most of our lives. You know, how do we turn the memories that we have into memories about life, about tomorrow and our future? How do we turn ourselves into chofetz chaim, pursuers so determined, I'm going to live, I'm going to make the most of every moment. It's in the poetry of the prayer. It's so profound. It's like a love poem from God to us, even though we're saying it to God. Okay, please turn to page 42 for the Amidah, and please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, ועוטפנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, ועוטפנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר הספורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים, לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים וקדושים בכל יום יחללו חסלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, ברוך אתה אדוני, המלך
take a little time for our own private, personal prayer, standing or seated, whatever is your custom or your comfort, either the prayers on the page or the meditations of your heart, and we'll come together in a few moments on page 60 with Ritzay.
Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tikabel beratzon utahil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Israel Amecha El Karov Lechol Korav Penei El Avadecha V'choneinu Shefach Rochacha Aleinu V'techezena Eineinu B'shuvcha leTzion berachamim Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato leTzion leTzion.
Page 65. I want to write about faith, about the way the moon rises over cold snow, night after night, together, faithful even as it fades from fullness, slowly becoming that last curving and impossible sliver of light before the final darkness. But I have no faith myself. I refuse it, even the smallest entry. Let this, then, my small poem, like a new moon, slender and barely open, be the first prayer that opens me to faith. 66.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit uv'chol shah b'shlomecha. Besefer Chaim, Besefer Chaim, Beracha v'shalom u'farnasa tova. Besefer Chaim, Besefer Chaim, Beracha v'shalom u'farnasa tova. Nizacher v'nikatev lefanecha, lefanecha. Nizacher v'nikatev lefanecha, lefanecha. Anachnu, 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 v'chol amcha beit Yisrael, l'chaim, l'chaim tovim, ol shalom. Please sing with us. Besefer Chaim, Besefer Chaim, Beracha v'shalom u'farnasa tova. Baruch atah Adonai oseh hashalom.
We turn to page 245 in the middle for our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, bringing into our minds and hearts thoughts and care for anyone in need of healing of any kind. Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Page 76, we rise.
'76. Avinu Malkeinu, Ein Lanu Melech Ela Ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, you are voice. Avinu Malkeinu, lemancha rachem aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu,
For your sake, show us mercy.
Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu lema'an shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, act towards us
as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, shlach refuah shlema lecholei amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, bring healing and wholeness to the ill among us.
Avinu Malkeinu, kra ro'a gzar dinenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, allay the
Harshness of the decree against us.
Avinu Malkeinu, kodvenu besefer geula vishua. Avinu
Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of redemption and renewal. Avinu Malkeinu, zochrenu b'zichron tov lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu,
remember our goodness and call it to mind. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lemancha voshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake and save us. Avinu Malkeinu, shma kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu,
Almighty and merciful,
hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, chatanu lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu, chamol aleinu va'al olalenu v'tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, kale dever v'cherev v'ra'av me'aleinu.
Of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, kale kol tsar umastin me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hold the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu,
Enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu va'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim, aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu, ve'alol aleinu, ve'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kotvenu Besefer Chaim Tovim, Avinu Malkeinu, Hadesh Aleinu, Hadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim, Asei imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Asei imanu tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim.
May be seated.
The sound of dried, roasted beans grinding, the roll of water coming to a boil, the sizzle of steam rising, the aroma of coffee floating through the air, the clink of the mug coming off the shelf, gently colliding with its neighbors on the way down to the counter. Maybe something sweet or something creamy joins the brew. Many of us can't imagine starting our day without this ritual in some form or another. Whether it's coffee or tea or water, hot or cold, regular or decaf, the first sip of the day is something many of us look forward to. But it's also something almost all of us take for granted. How many hands are involved in our morning cup of coffee? What does it take to get from the bean on the tree to the grinds in the percolator? In 2018, best-selling author A.J. Jacobs decided to thank everyone who contributed to his morning coffee, not just the barista who filled his cup or the company that owns his local coffee shop. In his book, Thanks 1,000, he explains how he embarked on a journey he called Project Gratitude. He aptly named his book after the 1,000 moments of gratitude he wanted to experience. Through Project Gratitude, he sought to express his thanks to 1,000 people who helped make his morning coffee possible. He flew to Guatemala to thank the farmers who cultivated his favorite beans. He thanked the designer whose logo is imprinted on every cup trying to be more appreciative of all the folks working to make the world less ugly. He thanked the person who came up with the design of the lid of his to-go cup, and he even found the people who invented that little cardboard sleeve that keeps your hand from getting too hot, and he said thank you to them too. 1,000 thank yous may seem like a lot, but there are so many people who are behind the scenes, who make our lives comfortable and safe and enjoyable, providing what we take for granted, like a cup of coffee. When he set out to find these 1,000 people, it seemed daunting. Reflecting on his experience, he learned that a key reason gratitude is so difficult to maintain and why it takes so much effort and intention is that if something is done well for us, the process behind it is largely invisible. Gratitude is an integral part of Judaism. Our morning liturgy presents us with a series of blessings to offer upon waking, which express gratitude for things we might otherwise take for granted. For waking itself, for our bodies and how they function, for the fresh start of each new day, and the recognition of the miracle of our souls, and blessings for the miracles we get to encounter every day. This series of blessings is a way we start each morning with gratitude. We begin, Moda ani lefanecha. I am grateful before you, our ruler, living and eternal, for you've returned my soul with compassion. Rabba emunatecha. Abundant is your faithfulness. The day begins with an expression of wonder. God restores our souls within us each morning, trusting us as partners in keeping those souls safe. Gratitude is at the heart of who we are and what we do. It's an amazing connector and an important part of any relationship. Not just our relationships with our loved ones, but also our relationship with God. In fact, gratitude is an integral part of repentance, the key focus of these days of awe. In Hebrew, the word that means to thank, lehodot, has the same root as the word to confess, lehitvadot. It happens that that same root is at the heart of our son's name, Judah, Yehuda, and even the name of our religion, Yahadut, Judaism. As Jews, we offer gratitude in many ways. Our liturgy provides us with formulaic expressions of thanks to God. On Shabbat mornings, our liturgy includes these humble words, Ilu finu male shira kayam, even if our mouths could fill with song as water fills the sea, and joy would move our tongues like countless waves, and our lips could utter praise as limitless as the sky, and our eyes could fill with light like the sun and the moon. Ein anachnu maspikim lehodot lecha. We could never sufficiently express our thanks to you, God. But we can certainly try. As we begin this new year, we have a clear focus. These days of awe are about gratitude for the relationships we have and a reminder to take care of those relationships. One significant element of that is the sharing of confessions and apologies for the ones we care about. Gratitude and confession go hand in hand. We are thankful and we know that we've caused pain, and so we feel gratitude for being able to try and repair our relationships. One way we express gratitude is by being vulnerable and honest with each other. We reflect on our behavior and the consequences of it. We confess and we apologize. Repentance and gratitude are interrelated, and they both require honesty and integrity. How easy it would be to wake up each morning and take it for granted. It can seem easier to take our very existence for granted because it takes a special training of the eye, of the soul, to see the invisible process in play around us. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel taught us our goal should be to live life in radical amazement, to get up in the morning and look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. Everything is phenomenal. Everything is incredible. Never treat life casually, he says. To be spiritual is to be amazed. Otherwise, we disconnect from the invisible force that is behind everything we do. We have to train ourselves to live our lives in radical amazement. Our textual tradition provides us with powerful examples of people living in radical amazement and offering gratitude to God, that invisible force behind miracles. The book of Exodus begins with baby Moses being floated down the Nile, discovered by Pharaoh's daughter and raised in the Egyptian palace. He is born in a time when midwives are supposed to sabotage the births of Hebrew babies, effectively surviving as a child of attempted genocide. Aviva Zornberg teaches, when Moses enters conscious life, he goes out to his brothers to see their sufferings. This first personal exodus foretells the larger national event. Moses' quest is for his brothers. Ambiguously, his brotherhood with Hebrew slaves becomes a subjective choice. It leads him to kill an Egyptian, responding to violence with violence. Moses flees from this violent act, fearing he's been found out by the Hebrew slaves. He's raised in the Pharaoh's palace, but his family of origin is Hebrew. He is neither Egyptian nor Hebrew, and he is both Egyptian and Hebrew. His desire is a simple one: community. He seeks to connect with his kin. Moses flees to the land of Midian, where he eventually marries Zipporah, the daughter of the Midianite priest Yitro. He tends the flock of his father-in-law and drives the flock into the Midbar, the wilderness, eventually arriving at Mount Horeb. An angel of God appeared to him in a blazing fire out of a bush. Moses says, "Asura na ve'er'eh et hamar'eh hagadol hazeh, madua lo yiv'ar hasneh." I must turn aside to look at this marvelous sight. Why doesn't the bush burn up? What an expression of radical amazement. When God sees that Moses has turned aside to take in the burning bush, God calls out to him, "Moses, Moses." And Moses answers, "Hineni, here I am." God explains Moses' life will have a new path. He will be the one to negotiate on God's behalf with Pharaoh to free the Hebrew slaves. Moses feels inadequate, sure that his kinsmen will resist his leadership, but he follows God's guidance and returns to Egypt to redeem the Israelites. His complex identity reveals itself in his conversation with God at the burning bush. When he asks who he is, that he should go to Pharaoh and free the Israelites. And when he asks, what should he say when the Israelites ask who sent him, he expresses a desire to know mysteries, his own identity, God's identity, questions within questions. But in both cases, Aviva Zornberg teaches us, his desire is framed by the need to explain himself to others. This encounter at the burning bush is the pivotal moment of Moses' life. Mount Horeb becomes a location of paramount importance in Moses' story. Upon reflection, many of us can identify locations and events in our lives that represent peaks or valleys in our journey to this precise moment. In his book, The Second Mountain, David Brooks describes the way many people go through life. They might get out of school, head to college, start a career, and follow the path they think they're meant to follow through life. But then they get to the top of the mountain and find that the view is unsatisfying. They feel that there's a bigger mountain, a mountain that's actually their mountain. They come down from the initial mountain, journey through a period of wilderness, and find the foot of their second mountain. So they approach a new summit, and on the second mountain, life moves from self-centered to other-centered. Brooks posits that people who have found their second mountain radiate joy. They seem to know why they were put on this earth. They glow with a kind of inner light. Finding the second mountain and living lives in service of others rather than lives that only serve ourselves is somewhat countercultural. We find ourselves in a constant tension, struggling to prioritize self and society in a balanced way. In a society where we feel free to be ourselves, where individualism is the gold standard, where self-care is the hottest trend, it can feel passé to focus on serving others. While we enjoy our political freedoms, we might find our personal, social, and emotional freedoms to be, in a word, overwhelming. As Brooks puts it so wisely, it turns out that freedom isn't an ocean you want to spend your life in. Freedom is a river you want to get across so you can plant yourself on the other side and fully commit to something. As we pursue lives of individual freedom, we can lose sense of the connectivity and rootedness that previous generations enjoyed. Brooks identifies 4 interconnected social crises that our individualistic culture is currently experiencing: the loneliness crisis, distrust, the crisis of meaning, and tribalism. First, the loneliness crisis. As we continue to lean into our use of technology, we become increasingly and alarmingly detached from our in-person communities. Social isolation is growing. The fastest growing political group is unaffiliated, and the fastest growing religious group is unaffiliated. We are lonelier than ever. The second crisis is distrust. Brooks writes, every age group in America is less trusting than the one before. And as Robert Putnam of Harvard points out, that's for a very good reason. People are less trustworthy. It's not that perception is getting worse. He says it's actual behavior. The third crisis is the crisis of meaning. Many people have lost faith in the great causes and institutions that earlier generations relied on to give life a sense of purpose and meaning. They have lost faith in faith. As religious and political affiliations decline, social scientists understand these trends to mean people do not feel they are part of some larger story that they can believe in and dedicate their lives to. And finally, the fourth crisis is that of tribalism. Individualism taken too far leads to tribalism. Community is connection based on mutual affection. Tribalism, as Brooks uses the term, is connection based on mutual hatred. Once politics becomes your ethnic or moral identity, he says, it becomes impossible to compromise because compromise becomes dishonor, which of course must be absolutely avoided. Tribalism is the shadow side of community. These 4 crises should startle us. We see the ripples of these quandaries in our daily interactions. When we focus on curating the perfect digital version of our lives instead of being present with the ones we love, we contribute to the loneliness crisis. When we rely on prejudices and ungenerous stereotyping, we become distrustful of the people around us. When we feel disconnected from service organizations and religious organizations, seeing our involvement as a formality instead of a heartfelt commitment, we feel the effects of our crisis of meaning. And finally, when we are so dedicated to our individualism that we have an inflexible view of the world, forcing the vibrancy of community into a grayscale shadow of us versus them, we have taken things too far. These societal crises lead us to suffer. Brooks likens suffering to the valley, the space between 2 mountains. Just as all our individual journeys might take us up various hills and valleys, so too there is a larger societal narrative that can lift us up or tear us down. The process of suffering teaches us gratitude. Normally, we take our love and friendships for granted, but in seasons of suffering, we throw ourselves on others and appreciate the gifts that our loved ones offer. Suffering might even put us in solidarity with others who suffer. It might make us more sympathetic or empathetic to those who share some sort of pain. In this way, it can tenderize the heart, shattering the illusion of self-sufficiency. Climbing out of the valley of suffering is not like recovering from a disease. Many people don't come out healed, they come out different. The valley of suffering is a kind of individual wilderness. When we feel the pain of these societal crises or the affliction of our own personal challenges, there can be great opportunity for healing and transformation in the wilderness. It's as if we can take our challenges with us like a flock of sheep and wander around with ourselves and our pains until we stumble upon something that calls to us, maybe from a bush that burns unconsumed, or maybe some other object that causes us to feel awe and wonder. Then, at our best, we take our suffering and transform it to wisdom. We learn from what we feel. And then we take that wisdom and use it in the service of others. This transformation takes listening, real listening. It's about listening to our lives and trying to understand what life is truly about, quite apart from what we might like it to be about. From the wilderness or valley of our suffering, we arrive at the foot of our second mountain, but it's an unexpected mountain, a path we didn't plan to travel. Moses is, like every one of us, absolutely imperfect. When he is called by an angel of God through the burning bush, he resists. he feels unworthy of the call. He has to move through his understanding of himself and prepare for a new version of himself to emerge. Moses goes through 2 periods of time in the wilderness. The first at Mount Horeb is a period of his personal journey. The next happens later in his story, after he leads the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt, the period of our people's 40 years, Bamidbar, in the wilderness. Time in the wilderness is utterly transformative. David Brooks says the reason transformation happens in the valley is because something that had hitherto been useful and pleasant needs to die. That thing, he says, is the ego self, the impressive, rational way of being we constructed for ourselves on the first mountain. Moses had to learn to see past himself, to figure out how he could possibly serve God and the community of Israel. And the people, the Israelites, have to transform from Hebrew slaves, from people prepared to be in covenant with God. Eventually, Moses ascends his second mountain, Mount Sinai. On behalf of our people, he receives God's revelation, so we become a people in covenant with God. The Israelites receive rules they must follow, ways of worshiping and serving God, and eventually, as the generations change, we move to a prayer-based service of God. Tonight, we enter into the new year. We find ourselves at this pivotal moment when we are called to emerge as our best selves. Let's consider these high holy days. It's as if Rosh Hashanah is our first mountain. We have arrived at the base of the mountain tonight, and tomorrow our hearts and souls will ascend to new heights together. We will aim for happiness, wishing each other a sweet new year. But this holiday will end, and we'll find ourselves coming down the mountain. The intermediate period between this holiday and the next, the second mountain of Yom Kippur, is our wilderness. It's a known path in some regards. It's a wilderness of repentance we've walked before. Though the process and place might be familiar, our deeds from the last year are new. Our relationships are in a different stage than they were when we gathered here last year. These days of awe are our opportunity to do the work of transformation, to prepare ourselves to focus not on the individualistic goal of personal happiness, but on the second mountain goal of meaning and moral joy. How do we do it? Cheshbon hanefesh, an accounting of our souls, vidui, confession, and teshuvah, repentance through sincere apologies and commitments to change our behavior for the better. Our ambition throughout these days of introspection and contemplation is to transform a central part of ourselves into something a little more giving, a little more in harmony with others, and more in harmony with what is good than we were before. In this way, our moral formation, in Brooks's words, is not individual. It is relational. Character emerges from our commitments. When the Israelites are redeemed from Pharaoh's rule, they don't go from bondage to absolute freedom. Instead, they go from service of Pharaoh to service of God. They don't linger in the feeling of absolute freedom after their redemption. They cross their river of freedom, or more accurately, their Red Sea of freedom, so they can plant themselves on the other side and fully commit to something. Their character is revealed by their commitments. When they take on the yoke of the covenant with God, they commit to serve God, to be in relationship with each other and with God. They, in a word, affiliate. To Brooks, this is what it means to be called. Some sight or experience forces us to feel wonder, and there's a feeling of radical openness, curiosity, and reverence. There's an instant freshness of perception, a desire to approach and affiliate. Moses arrives at Mount Horeb as if by accident, but the scene at the burning bush isn't his only time on that mountain. Tradition holds that Mount Horeb and the scene of God's revelation, Mount Sinai, are one and the same. Moses ascends Mount Sinai, but the people stand at the foot of the mountain. Revelation of the Word of God is given to them in the wilderness. As the descendants of the recipients of that covenant with God, each one of us is connected to that place of revelation, to that murky valley between the path we thought we'd follow, that of slavery under Pharaoh, to a new, unexpected path, that of service to God. We know Moses was instrumental in this process, but imagine how many other people were involved in this transition of redemption, this journey from Horeb and Sinai through the wilderness and finally to the promised land. There were the ones who carried the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the priests who made offerings on behalf of the people, the artisans who designed the worship space, the musicians who sounded shofars and trumpets to gather the Israelites together, the farmers who raised the livestock that would be offered as sacrifices. I'm thinking about A.J. Jacobs' journey through Project Gratitude. He sought to see the unseen, to offer his genuine appreciation to people for the work of their hands and the way they unknowingly contribute to his life. Throughout his journey, he unwittingly created a web of connections between people. He built a community of people who, perhaps without realizing it, were partners in the same project. We forget as we go about our days that what we do has impact on people we may never meet. As we confront the societal and personal crises like deep loneliness, growing distrust, searching for meaning, and fighting tribalism, we in this space already hold the antidote: community and relationships. When we take care of those connections, expressing heartfelt gratitude, we fortify ourselves for whatever mountain we climb next. We must intentionally choose to move from the first mountain goal of personal happiness to the second mountain goal of sacred service to others. To do that, let's start by taking stock of all of the people who make our high holidays possible. Our Temple Beth-El staff and lay leadership who serve tirelessly all year to make sure this community can thrive. Our choir and musicians and shofar sounders and sound technicians whose efforts lead us to a higher spiritual place. Our amazing facilities team who sets up hundreds of chairs, making sure machzors are in place, and generally taking care of this spiritual home for us at this season and all year long. The security personnel who are helping to make sure we can gather and pray safely. The countless volunteers who are generous with their time, welcoming us in the space, editing programs, cultivating our gardens, guiding us in our greening projects, arranging flowers for the holidays, leading our small groups and temple arms, baking for onegs, organizing us to provide for those who are in need. The ones who have made donations large and small, celebrating our legacy and helping to ensure a future for Temple Beth-El. Those visitors who are our welcome guests at this holiday season. The ones who helped our bellies be full tonight and who helped clean up after dinner. The list goes on and on. As I stand on this bema, I feel a little like A.J. Jacobs, and my message for you tonight is simple. Thanks 1,000. Thank you for all of the roles you play at Temple Beth-El of Great Neck. You make an impact even if you think it's invisible. We are so deeply blessed to be connected through this sacred community. Our ability to be present in this space today or tuning in via live stream is connected to so many invisible forces, so many relationships and miracles that support us on our journey through life's mountains. There are several ways to think about the second mountain. We have the peaks and valleys of our own individual experiences, our periods of suffering and transformation. We move from focusing on ourselves to serving others. Moses had two mountains that were really one, Mount Horeb and Mount Sinai. He was called to change his path and to serve a higher calling. His new path had him radiating joy. The Israelites also had two mountains, that of slavery under Pharaoh through the valley of the wilderness to the second mountain of covenant with God. As we enter into this year 5780, we all move together through two mountains, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The days between must be used as a kind of transformational wilderness, lehodot ulehitvadot. By expressing gratitude and regret, apologies and thankfulness, we will arrive at Yom Kippur ready to reach the highest heights. As we journey up mountains, may we do so with radical amazement. May our eyes be open to the wonders of creation, and may our hearts be open to give and receive gratitude. May we feel how blessed we are to be in relationship with other human beings and with God, how blessed we are to be in this sacred community. Our cups are so full. May gratitude overflow. May our journey up the second mountain bring us closer to each other and to God, that we all may glow with that radiance of joy that comes with serving others. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will.
אילופינו מלא שירת קיים ולשוננו רינה כהמון גליו ושפתותינו שבח כמרחבי רקיע ועינינו מהירות כשמש וכירח וידינו פרוסות כנשרי שמיים ורגלינו קלות כיעלות אין אנחנו מספיקים להודות לך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אילופינו מלא שירה קיים ולשוננו רינה כהמון גליו ושפתותינו שבח כמרחבי רקיע ועינינו מהירות כשמש וכירח וידינו פרוסות נקרשי שמיים ורגלינו קלות כיעלות אין אנחנו מספיקים להודות לך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אמותינו אין אנחנו מספיקים להודות לך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אמותינו.
A few announcements before we close our service. We'll hear more about this tomorrow, but a reminder that this past couple years, Brotherhood has been able to stock and restock our St. Al's food pantry, fulfilling the pledge we made now 4 years ago on Yom Kippur to do just that. And the best way you can help is not so much by bringing in food itself, but by making monetary donations. Checks written out to Temple Beth-El with the memo indicating food pantry.
Let's see, next, opportunities to be close to the Torah. During Torah reading tomorrow morning, as we've done for the last several years, there's a table in the social hall, a table in the Oneg room. We can see there will be a Torah scroll and people who will be reading out of the Torah, following along as the chanting happens from up here at the main Bema table, and as well at the end on Yom Kippur, as we close Yom Kippur and Elah, we'll have the opportunity to individuals or families, as we've done a number of times as well, stand before the open ark and have a private moment before the Torah.
So don't be afraid. Get close to Torah this high holidays.
Exactly. Thank you to Gloria and to Andy for your amazing service, your friendship, your support, your love. to Ron as well, and to Elaine. Your amazing generosity of energy and heart. To Rabbi Molbaum for helping us all say on three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you to all in our lives who enable us to get here. It's beautiful, Rabbi Molbaum. And Cantor Lappin for the voice that helps us soar to higher heights all the time.
Feel free on your way out to take a canvas bag, one per family. We are continuing to try to be a leader in faith communities on Long Island who are cleaning up our act and going green. So grab a bag on your way out. Tomorrow morning, Rosh Hashanah services, morning services begin at 10 a.m. Tot services for ages 0 basically to 6 will be in the library, and family services led by Rabbi Molbaum will be upstairs in the Rudin Chapel. That's for readers age 7 to 11, also at 10 a.m. Those older than that are encouraged to come sit with their families and just be together. Drop-off babysitting begins at 10:45. 18 months to 6 years of age can be doing that. And after the family services and the tot services, children 7 to 11 years old can go upstairs to the religious school. Tomorrow afternoon, Tashlich, as always, Stepping Stone Park at 3 p.m. And then second day, Rosh Hashanah, outside on the Rudin Garden. We really encourage you to come. It's a Hamish, wonderful, interactive service. 10 a.m., followed by a Kiddush lunch, and we are going to be augmenting the experience this year by making it accessible to those who are hearing impaired. So there'll be someone signing throughout the service and the ability for someone who can't hear the shofar to actually touch the shofar at the end as it's blown. So if you know someone who may have felt cut off from worship because of a hearing impairment, please encourage them to come on Tuesday. And that's all for now.
Let's rise.
Let's rise, 82.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמלכות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומשתחווים ומודים
We turn to page 90 for Kaddish, thinking of all those we hold dear. So many names fill our hearts at this season, thinking in particular of those in our community lost so recently, Carol Safenowitz and Bernice Wiener. Kaddish on page 90. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, ועגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. תאמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen. We close with Adon Olam, but not before thanking the choir and AJ. Thank you so much. 94.
בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נעשה וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להשילו, להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה.
Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year. L'shana tova tikatevu v'techatemu.
Shana tova, Laila tov.
L'shana tova tikatevu, l'shana tova